Our plans for our camper van and for our trip this fall have had to change.
Yep.
Here we go. Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth. Live simple.
Live free. And yeah, as Elizabeth said, our plans for our camper van have changed. We're still doing it.
Oh yeah.
We're still building out the camper van. Let me tell you what's happened. First of all, if you don't know what we're talking about, we did a video about this a couple weeks ago, and I'll put a link right up here for that video so you can see what our plans for our camper van are. And I'll also put it in the description below so you know what we're talking about. So we bought this camper, or it's not a camper, it's a van. It's a Econoline 350, and we plan to build it out as a camper.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited about that.
Well, and also because it's powerful, and if we want to just go somewhere with our RV and just park, it'll
Right.
haul it.
We can use it as a camper van, or we can use it as a tow vehicle to tow our travel trailer.
Right.
So the plan is to build it out, and but you know, we're also building this addition on the back of the house, which you're watching videos for that right now.
We've been working on that for a long time.
Yeah,
The plans for that.
Planning on that and saving for that for well over a year, and that was the plan to do that this summer. And then, quite frankly, to buy the van was just, we sort of did it on a whim. When we sat down, because we were planning on a trip west this fall, when we sat down and realized how much it was going to cost us to do that, because of the really bad gas mileage of the truck, we decided to buy this van, and so that was just a spur of the moment thing. But then that put us into a bind, put me into a bind time-wise, to be able to finish the addition and the camper van before September when we leave for the trip.
Even just to the point of the addition being weathered in, safe for
Right.
weather, and having the camper van at least to the point where it would be workable, not fancy, but
A lot of people have actually asked me why we don't just work on the camper van and do the trip and put the addition off until after we get back from the trip. But the trip was supposed to be in September and October, and then that would put us into the winter building the addition, and I don't want to do that in the winter.
right.
So
It doesn't make sense to do it in the winter.
So the priority is to do the addition. So time was really at a premium to get them both done. And then the finances. We thought we were going to have enough to be able to squeak out both, because we don't have unlimited funds like nobody does,
Right. We planned this pretty carefully.
And the van, when we bought it from a dealer in North Carolina from a used car lot, it had just been inspected the day before. So we figured, well, we're good to go there. So we brought it up here to Virginia, took it in to get it inspected, and found out that no, not quite.
Right. And our mechanic here is really trustworthy and
Yeah.
sharp. He's good.
So first of all, it needs brakes pretty much all the way around, which I'm going to be able to do. And he said, well, that's good, because that'll save you a lot of money. So I'm going to do the brakes. He also said that the two rear tires are good enough to pass inspection, but he said they're starting to show some signs of dry rot. He said if you're just using it around town, that's fine, but if you're going to take it on a big, 5,000 mile trip out west, he didn't recommend that we do that without replacing the tires.
Yeah, the treads look good. It's just still a bit it's dry rotted.
Yeah, and I haven't priced those tires, but Barry has similar sized tires on his truck, and he said that they were about $600 a piece. So that's a real blow. And then if I do the brakes myself, and if we take care of the tires later, it's still going to cost us somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 to get the truck inspected, because it also needs ball joints and a couple of other things. So we're talking about somewhere around in the neighborhood of $2,000 just to get the van roadworthy to be able to go out west, and that's without even doing any kind of a build out a camper van.
That's just all mechanical.
Double battery system and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So that was a real blow. And then quite a few of you said when you heard that I had a 6-liter diesel Ford engine in there, that it was not a good engine and it needed to be bulletproofed. I'm not a mechanic. I didn't know anything about different engines, and I'd never heard of bulletproofing, so I went and talked to my mechanic about it. And I was going to say, people tell me it's not a good engine as it is, and there's something called bulletproofing. And as soon as I said I have a 6-liter diesel engine, and people tell me it's not good, he came up and said, yeah, it's not a very good factory engine, but it's good. It's a good engine if you bulletproof it.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, okay, I guess bulletproofing is a thing.
Yeah, he never even had a chance to say it to the mechanic. The mechanic said it.
Yeah, so I asked him what it would cost to bulletproof it. And he didn't give me an exact price, but he gave me an estimate somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,500. So, wow, what a blow.
Yeah.
So now we're looking between that and the inspection, we're looking at about $6,500 just to get it roadworthy to be able to take on a long trip. We can still drive it around town.
Oh, sure.
But I don't trust the engine now, from what everybody's telling me, to take it on a big trip like that, because if it blows out in the middle of the trip, it'll cost a lot more than that to get it fixed or replaced or rebuilt.
Yeah.
And we'll do that on the side of the road someplace? No, I don't think so. So we've decided to go ahead and do all of that work. The reason being the van is still, the body is still very good. There's no rust on it anywhere. And I think that once we bulletproof the engine, that it will be a good solid vehicle for many years to come. At least that's the hope, that's the plan.
Right.
And because once we get it done, we plan on doing a lot of traveling with it, either as a camper van or pulling the travel trailer.
Right.
So
right.
that's going to be hopefully our we have a lot of plans for that years into the future. So.
And people have been wondering, why we have so many vehicles. We're not planning on hanging on to the truck. That is for sale.
No, the pickup truck is for sale, and my dad's minivan will be for sale as soon as we finish with probate court.
Yeah, everything's still up in the air with, probate stuff. So, yeah.
So, because of all of that, we can't afford to do all of that right now and still finish the addition. So we've had to postpone the trip out west.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart, but, it is what it is.
Right.
So, and that actually then kind of relieves a lot of the time pressure that I have on finishing that edition, because now I don't have to finish it by the second week in September when we were going to leave.
Right.
I don't know if I would have been able to anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is we've been building for many, many years.
Yeah.
And just to be quite honest, I don't care what you're working on. If there's a project, especially a building project, things are going to take longer than you thought, and it's going to cost more than you thought.
Yep.
It's just the way it is,
Yep.
Days of rain and you can't get your footers your footings inspected. There's just things that happen.
Yeah, I was going to be working on it today on the footers to get them inspected, but it rained earlier this morning. It's going to be raining most of this afternoon. We have a little lull in the rain right now to do this video, but that kind of thing just delays your progress.
It's just part of the process.
Yeah. So the plan now. We are still planning on our trip to Florida, pulling the travel trailer in like March, I think it is.
It's end of February and into March.
And so we are going to continue to work on the van a little bit now and then, but we're not going to be doing a push like we were. So we're going to be pushing to get the and as we do the van, we'll still be doing the videos, but
we'll keep you guys along with everything.
But they'll be spread out a little bit. So the plan now is to push to get the addition done. And then after that, then we'll talk about trying to, as money permits, get the bulletproofing done on the engine. Hopefully then by the end of February when we're going to Florida, we'll have that done so that we can take the new van as the tow vehicle to pull our travel trailer down to Florida.
Yeah. Boy,
and then next year, hopefully we'll be able to use the camper van and make a trip west.
Yeah. We're not giving up at all. You just have to take things as they come.
Right.
And it's things are going to work out the way they need to. I tell you something we've learned, and this is a hint for I guess anybody that would like to be able to go down to some places in Florida, for instance, in the winter. You got to if there's a place that will let you reserve, start a year ahead.
Yeah.
It is a miracle that we got any places reserved down there for next March starting a few weeks ago.
We started a few weeks ago. We wanted to go down there in February. February was pretty much all booked up. We did find, 11 days left in one place, the end of February?
Yeah, into March. Yes, the very end there.
And then we're going to a different place, to a state park for another 7 days in the first or second week in March. I forget the timing. But we wanted to go down for several months, and the only thing we were able to book was about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Right. I mean, we may find places we can boondock. We'll have to kind of see once we're there.
Yeah.
But as far as having a place we know we can go to that's all set to go, we are grateful that we have, the 18 days now that we have been able to book. But yeah, places like that, boy, we're going to start a year ahead next time. And
Yeah, in fact, yeah. So this fall, we're going to start trying to book for the winter of, what is it?
2023?
22, 23.
22, 23, right. Right. It's just the reality of it.
So, yeah.
And we're not giving up. He has had a dream about something like this van for so long, and we'll get it done. We'll just keep working at it. And still, I want him to have his adventures.
In alignment with our live simple, live free, debt free philosophy, we could go and do all the work on the van right now if we use credit cards.
Oh, easily.
I mean, we certainly have the money to be able to make credit card payments and all that kind of stuff, but we just don't. No. So we believe in our debt free philosophy enough that we're putting off the work on the van, and we're putting off an entire trip. 6 months at least, 9 months until from this September until next summer or next spring sometime, because we're going to do it. We're not going to use debt. We're going to do it all cash.
Right. We just don't want to promise future earnings for something we're using now.
Right.
Nope. Just absolutely not going to do it. And you know what? It's still going to be wonderful to go down to Florida. I really believe that's still going to happen, and we'll still get those trips out west. We want to use the camper because it's so much cheaper to drive just that instead of hauling a RV along with you.
Right.
And lots of places we still want to go see, and I believe it's going to happen. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for being out of debt, and it gives us the ability to save ahead for things like this addition.
Right.
And once when we're doing the addition, it's going to be kind of a natural thing when the cupboards come in with the flooring and everything to kind of blend that into the kitchen, and just try to get all that kind of situated. And then, like I said, I'm still absolutely willing to work on the adventures, give them a chance to get going on it.
Another thing that was a financial blow for us is that the price of lumber is astronomical right now.
Yeah.
And when I initially figured the cost of building this addition, it has almost doubled.
Yeah.
Because of the price. I mean, a piece of plywood is like $85 a sheet or $90 a sheet right now, and it used to be about $35 a sheet. So it's just fortunate. I mean, if we were planning on building a big house, and then we had this price increase, we wouldn't have been able to do it. But this is a very small project, but it's still double the cost of the project.
Right.
So. Anyway, there you have it. Live simple, live free. We're going to stay debt free. We're going to do everything cash as we can. So the plan is to finish the addition, and then for me to finish the kitchen, which we've already spent the money on all of the cabinets.
That's all done.
And then after that, start working on building out the van and getting the bulletproofing done and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're wondering what the bulletproofing is all about, from what I understand, from what I've been able to ascertain, when Ford built this engine, they didn't put enough bolts in the heads. The head is the top of the piston. It bolts down. And they didn't put enough bolts in there, so what happens is the head gasket burns out. And you have to take the heads off and plane them all down and replace the head gaskets, and it can create a lot more damage than that to the engine as well. So when they bulletproof it, from what I understand, they take the heads off, they plane the bottom surfaces of the heads, put them back on with new head gaskets, and then they actually drill additional bolts into the block to add more bolts to hold the head gasket down, so that it won't warp and twist and burn out the head gaskets. At least that's my limited understanding of it, and that's going to be in the neighborhood of $4,500. But then we should have a solid engine.
One thing Barry says, he loves his diesel in his truck, and he said that it's just he wouldn't trade it. They really do last well.
He has a Dodge.
A Dodge, yeah.
Dodge truck with
the
a diesel.
And he said he loves that thing, but he said, you just do have to really understand that any work that does have to be done on a diesel is going to be very, very expensive. We keep finding diesel gasoline diesel, not gasoline, diesel that costs the same as gas.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if that happens when we're traveling, with the kind of mileage we're going to get with the diesel, that'll be wonderful.
When we were kids, diesel was always cheaper than
Yes,
gas.
yes,
But
always.
for the past 20 years or so, at least 25 years, diesel has been anywhere from like 30 to 40 cents a gallon more than gas. Well, now in the local area, all the gas stations have diesel for like 10 cents a gallon more, and I saw one yesterday, it was the same price as regular. So,
That's kind of cool.
yeah.
Depending on how different the diesel price is from the gasoline, we're still looking at a dramatic savings between 19 to 20 in the van not pulling anything, and the 7 we would get with the truck pulling
Right.
something, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And we've loved that truck. It's just this van's going to be really dual purpose for us.
So that's what's going on. We're
Yeah.
still going to be doing the camper van, but we're going to put it off. And I know a lot of you have been excited about watching the build. We will still be doing that occasionally, just not as high priority. I just got a Max Air fan to put in the roof,
Yep.
so I'll be installing that.
And
That's
we
where-
got our commode.
Yeah, we got a
and it looks like it's going to work really well. The little
portable
portable toilet. Yeah, yeah. We had that all ordered before we even knew this was happening with the van. So yeah, and we will definitely bring you along for anything going on in the van, and certainly for all these construction projects,
Right.
for sure.
So there's the saga of our plans change a lot. So,
And you got to be flexible with it, you know.
and we are. So anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.
Live simple.
Live free. You be blessed.
All right, we love you guys. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye. Our plans for our camper van. Our plan. Blooper. Okay.